How's it, everybody? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, and 8 p.m. over on the East Coast. It is time for Chatter with Statter. All right, let's get this party started. Excellent. Okay, so I have to ask myself, what day is it? Is it really Wednesday? Honestly, this time of year, that week between Christmas and New Year's, I'm not really sure what time it is, what day it is. Is it evening? Is it morning? That's where I'm at right now. Feeling a little bit under the weather, so not quite sure. Not quite sure if we're going to make it the whole hour and a half. Let's hope we can, though. Looks like Rick is in the house. Whoa, just go live. Wish I could. Yeah, I am live. I'm live here, stuck in my house. I have snow. Oh, Rick, that is so funny you should ask. Not only do I have snow, I have cockroached a video from downtown Seattle during the snow on Christmas on the 26th of December for when the brand new fresh snow was happening. And there's a super awesome YouTube creator who's doing a lot of what like Photo Luke does, only it's in the Seattle area. I stumbled upon him, and basically his YouTube feed is, or his YouTube stream is everything that I wish mine could be in regards to a Seattle tourism guide. And so I'm going to be posting some links to his page, and we're going to be watching maybe about a 7-minute snippet of a video he took December 26th while he was out looking for coffee in Seattle. Now, I have to say, the whole entire 30-minute video that Lao Ocean, that's the YouTuber's name, that he posted is 30 plus minutes long, and he's looking for a cup of coffee in Seattle. And it took him a 30-minute drive across town and back before he actually found someplace that was open serving coffee in Seattle. That is exactly what happens when Seattle snows. Everything, including coffee, shuts down. So we have definitely been snowed in. The snow not too thick, but definitely super cold, not going away, coating the roads. We don't have the infrastructure here to maintain the roads and on all of the hills that we have in regards to our landscape. So people are sort of stuck at home. Well, the smart people are stuck at home. I did make it to my coffee stand today, but basically I've been, snowed in. And I say snowed in a little bit facetiously. My Subaru can handle it, but the real reason, I mean, the thing is I can't control what other people do, and so there's no reason to be out on the road unless you really need to be out on the road. But instead of being out on the road, I see that Rick is in the house, Elaine is in the house, Darlene is in the house, and Darlene is helping me out with a reality check. It is Wednesday, December 29th. In Wisconsin, it is 7 p.m. In Seattle, according to my clock, it's 5. And let's see, I'm going to assume that in Hawaii, if everything's going as planned, it's probably around 3. And on the East Coast, let's just hope it is 8 o'clock. Otherwise, my sense of reality is just gone out the window. Michael Anthony Smith, good to see you here today. Oh, Rick, our tech check says today is 720p broadcast day. No downgrade choices. Well, all right. Yeah, well, okay, Rick, actually, it's between 2 and 4 inches of snow, depending upon where you go looking. But like I said, we, it's been since the 26th. It's been snowy, and just today is the first day that the sand truck is able to get to my house on a hill. So, we just don't have the infrastructure here. And ultimately speaking, people don't know how to drive in the snow here. For better or for worse, I'm not like looking down my nose at people who don't know how to drive in the snow. It's just, it is what it is. And so, even with 2 inches, it's just like, I don't really know if I want to be out on the road. Not because I don't trust me, because I do trust me and I trust my Subaru. I trust my steed, but that doesn't mean I trust the other people or their steeds. Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. With Seattle, it's just, it's sort of just like Texas, Texas gets 2 inches of snow and the whole world shuts down. Because we don't have the infrastructure, and also we have a lot of hills. It's not the same thing as the Midwest. It's not. And so, once you're looking at an 18% grade on, a compacted snowy hill, unless you're in some pretty hardcore chains in a very heavy duty vehicle, you're probably not going to be making it. Okay, cool. Michael Anthony Smith, he confirms my reality check. It is 8 p.m. on the East Coast. That is right. So, perfect. My timestamps have been accepted by those all over the country. Now, let's do what I always forget to do, which is turning on the desktop audio / the music in the background. Let me know if the levels are good to go. And let's see here. It looks like Kenny from the Cove and Shockalock have come in. Yeah, and Shock knows what I'm talking about. In Virginia, if there's snow, people don't know how to drive. And also, in places where it's warmer, now this snow that we have here in Seattle is not like this, but usually the snow that we get around here is snow that falls between like 34 and 32 degrees. So it's big, wet, slippery, half-melted snow that's already hitting the ground as slush. And slush is just kind of slippery, and then it drops below freezing, and so then all that slush turns to ice. And so the snow we have here usually is very wet, and it turns into an icy mess. But this snow, actually, I've referred to it as Colorado snow, and the people in Colorado that I know are a little bit annoyed, not because I'm co-opting the name of the snow, but because we have their snow. Apparently Colorado is just like, yeah, let's get out the suntan lotion. Vail is just like, well, we used to be a ski town, but I guess now we're going to have to, like, I don't know, grass ski or something. So, we definitely have, as it were, Seattle has cockroached the Colorado snow for the year. That is for sure. And let's see here. Shock is wrapped in her blanket of aloha, but with a hubbub nose, and the bots and trolls are not going to get a break today. That's right, the sword of mercy, or not mercy, the sword of no mercy. There we go. All right, Cindy Krause into house. Excellent. We've got a crowd building up. Okay, so what I figured I'd show you guys today, because as we all know, snow is very pretty at first, but then it's not so pretty. Well, the YouTuber Lao Ocean, he created a video of probably one of the only times you're ever going to see this, and I would love to be able to share it with you. So, without further ado, we're going to go here. And, yeah, Kenny from the Cove, just tell him, hey, your snow is all over my yard. You need to come get it. That's exactly right. All right, what we're looking at here, you may or may not remember from a video I created, northbound 1st Avenue South, and I kept going north instead of turning into the Pike Place Market. But this is the infamous Pike Place Public Market on December 26th, 2021. YouTuber that I cockroached this from is named Lao Ocean. I'm going to be posting a link in my description, and if you guys want to check out more of his awesome stuff, please do. And so what we're seeing right here is a very, very rare view of nobody in the market. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. You'll notice that the sun is not yet up, even though it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here in the Northwest right now. Sun doesn't come up till about 8 o'clock. And this is the infamous Pike Place Market, the top level, street side, On the right-hand side, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the logo, but on the, oh, there we go. We're passing it right there. On the right-hand side was the very, very first Starbucks ever to exist. And this is a huge tourist attraction that even at 8 o'clock in the morning on a normal day is usually packed with people, vendors setting up, tourists getting their coffee, locals heading to and from work. All right, so that is where we're going to stop today on that one. I'm actually going to create a video where, with this snowy one that Lao Ocean did, lined up against the drive that I did in the fall over the exact same terrain. So you can see the same street with the fall leaves versus the same street, the same view, the same route with the snow. And honestly, there are some places in the Seattle area during the snow that are quite enchanting. You know, the wintertime in the cities where all of the holiday lights are twinkling, you can't help, even if you're not someone who celebrates the holiday per se, you can't really help but love to, you know, see all of the displays for the holidays, right? And so let's see here. It looks like Shock has got some situations going on with errors in code, and Rick is singing her a song about that. So Darlene coming in with, oh, the snow will come there too. We had one snow with barely 2 inches, warmed up and all melted, more coming later, but the 6 or 12 inches we usually get, it'll come. Okay. Good. Yeah. We're getting more tonight, so I have no idea. We're in for another 2 to 4 inches tonight. So who knows what will be dealt with tomorrow. Hey, Thomas the Turtle, good to see you. Photo Luke, excellent. Yeah, that was, I think you're saying, oh, wow, in regards to the snow for Pike Place Market. And yeah, that was when the snow was pretty. And I'm really glad that Lao Ocean got that footage before the traffic came in to create not so pretty, you know, because it only takes a couple car tracks before it starts getting kind of gross. And so he was definitely like the first one in to get that awesome footage. And yeah, I cannot credit him enough. That was not my footage. I have to give credit where credit is due, and Lao Ocean is the YouTuber who created that. So by all means, people, go check him out if you're at all interested in the Seattle area. He does a lot of things in regards to the International District. He actually has a whole video where he goes to Bruce Lee's favorite Chinese food restaurant in the International District. We've actually sort of did a Google Map street view of that neighborhood once. Yeah, and Cindy Krause, yes, more snow. Good thing I can work from home. Absolutely. Sort of good thing I can work from home. However, unfortunately, this week, I'm managing a tax office. Part of doing taxes is prepping your clients for next year's tax season. And what I have traditionally done in the past 10, 15 years, the week between Christmas and New Year, I am doing the most mundane, tedious of tasks, which is printing out tax organizers, stapling the tax organizers, stuffing the tax organizers into the right envelopes for the right clients, which, by the way, that's kind of a nightmare. And getting everything, for 500 people, getting everything out the door so it's ready to be mailed on, first thing in January. Well, that's not happening this year. I can't do that job from my home. My printer is not set up for it. I don't have the supplies here. All the supplies are at the office. And the office is located on a very steep hill in a residential area that has, because we don't have the infrastructure to sand or plow, basically you have to wait for melt in order to get there. So, yeah, we'll see when we get to go back to the office, won't we? Yeah, we will see. Reality check. Chocolate has no calories when you don't feel good, right? Well, I think that chocolate is medicinal when you don't feel good. So the calories are sort of justified because it's medicine. Isn't that how that works? Yeah, isn't that how that works? So, Cindy Krause, okay, so you didn't get any snow. Unlike Andre in the Bay Area, I don't know how low-level snow you got, but I know that the Bay Area got some unusual snow just a few days ago. But Cindy Krause further south in California, mostly light rain all day with periodic bursts of hard rain, just under a half inch. Well, you know, half inch is more than nothing, and I'm really stoked that your area is getting it, because 'tis the season to get wet, and Southern California, they need it, man. Okay, so Rick, snow pro tip, Mad Statter: if everyone follows the same track on the road, it gets icy. Move over a little into fresh snow and skip the slip to a degree. Oh, you are okay. So for everybody who might not know this, Rick is 100% right. Preaching to the choir here. I actually did know that. I did know that tip, Rick. But for sure, once, even if it's not icy yet, that groove that everybody drives in is melting a little bit and turning to slush, which, even if it's not refrozen to ice, is still got that layer of water, and it's going to be super slick. So yes, for extra grip. And honestly, I kind of like to, I like to break the snow up so it'll like just melt it and go away. And so, yeah, move over a little into the fresh snow and create new tracks. Now, obviously, if it's like super deep snow and your car's not meant for trailblazing, then don't. But for sure, that is the pro tip of the season right there. Rick is speaking the truth. So, hey, Terry in Scotland, rating with a party of 8. Thank you so much for coming on in. We are talking about snow in Seattle right now. And yeah, Darlene, you know, of all the jobs that I have to do in the year, the organizer job is definitely the most tedious, but at the same time, it's kind of a mindless task. And so it's easy. The hours go by quick, I guess, because you're just constantly dealing with something. And it's really kind of a brainless, relaxing activity. But I'll tell you this, not being able to do it is kind of not a brainless, relaxing activity. It's a little bit of a stress-inducing activity because I really would like to be getting it done. So yeah, there is that. Oh, cool. We've got DJ Smook in the house, Maya Makalea, we've got Panel, we've got Alpha, we've got Andre, which I think I've already said hi to Andre because he was complaining about his internets, which is always so slow. So Andre, and right now he's complaining, Oakland has 43-degree temperature, too cold for you to want to go out. That is so funny. I remember I was talking to somebody who was from Hawaii, and he was talking about his time in Chicago, and it was so cute. He mentioned, he was like, it was so cold outside, you could see the steam of your breath. And it was just like, oh, yeah, you know, I mean, but you know, I guess people from Hawaii forget that, or don't have that phenomena very often. And so, it must seem like the ultimate indicator of freezing weather when you can actually see your breath. So yeah, I had to giggle when he said that. It was like, so cold you can see your breath. Yeah, and okay, yeah, you're right, exactly, Panel. Same for walking too. Right, exactly. Instead of stepping in, your inclination when going through snow is to always go through the track that's already been laid. And you know, if you're like in the middle of a minefield in the war zone, then you probably want to do that so you don't step in a mine, because wherever somebody's already stepped, you know there's not a mine there. And you also don't want to indicate how many people are there, so you know, take the tip from that Star Wars clan. But outside of very specific circumstances, stepping into the tracks before you, or driving on the tracks that are laid, is actually a little bit riskier than you might think. It's not the best idea. So let's see here. DJ Smook, are you saying that it's so hot that you need AC today? Wow, I definitely am jealous about that situation. So let's see, have I missed anything? All right, so people coming in saying hello. Okay, Shock. says, your friends at the Library of Congress said that lots of their workers are now on all indexing and transcriptions they always wish they had time to do because their usual jobs are not possible right now. So we get better metadata and more cool data because of COVID. Well, that is cool, actually. And that totally makes sense because it's just like you're sitting at home doing nothing. Now is the time to do the mundane tasks that always got put on the back burner because you had to deal with the public. The public was in your face, an immediate thing that needs your attention. Well, now there's no public in my face, so there's no immediate thing that needs my attention. I guess it's time to roll out the card catalog and let's get to indexing. Oh, wow, Andre, thanks for the 200 biddies. That is so awesome. So flippin' generous. Maya, you're used to cold weather on the Big Island? Well, this friend of mine was not from the Big Island, and he was definitely not used to the cold enough that he found I don't even think it was snowy in Chicago. I think it was just Chicago being Chicago, right? But he was just like, it was so cold. You could see your breath. I wanted to go back inside. So, yeah, I had to giggle at that. So, shock. Oh my, when your breath becomes visible and crashes to the ground and then pokes holes in your shoes, then it's cold. I've never had it that cold. That's for sure. Whoa, DJ. So you're DJ Smook. Yes, it really hit near 80 in Houston. Wow. Isn't that so funny how just crazy the weather is for the Christmas season? Because I'm assuming 80 is not normal for Houston, even in December. I mean, I've got friends in Houston actually, and I'm pretty sure that is not the normal temperature for December. So let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, or it's really cold and you got dragon breath. Well, you know, it's a good thing. Actually, I brushed my teeth before I went streaming today. I did brush my teeth, but earlier today, my breath probably could have been seen on video, no matter how warm or cold it was outside. Yeah, so let's see here. Andre, why is it on the happiness scale idea all the happiest countries are cold and dark all winter? Yeah, you know, I don't know. I guess maybe because they're bright and sunny all summer, and you go crazy when you don't get the sleep, and so you think that you're happy. I don't know. Yeah, Pinnell, I've seen videos about when you throw hot water in the air and it turns to snow. I don't think it's that cold here. Because really, I mean, it's only, it's like, it got to be 28 today, you guys. And in comparison to what it has been recently, that was actually kind of warm. In fact, it's kind of weird. My body has totally acclimated to, well, not totally acclimated, but like last week, 28 degrees would have sent me running. Whereas today, when I went out, I was like, oh, do I really need socks? You know, and it's like, it's 28. Do I really need socks? Hey, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, good to see you here. Wow, shock, 70 while you were driving home. All right, no, we have got your cold. Everybody who needs their cold back, I know where it's at. We've got it here. Yes, we do. Yeah, Andre, so weird. It's hotter in Scotland than it is in Northern California. And I think it was you, Andre. Didn't you send me an email earlier that mentioned that Alaska is warmer than Seattle or San Francisco on Christmas or something like that? I mean, Alaska is warmer than San Francisco on Christmas? What? Oh, yeah, very strange. Very, very strange. Hey, OG Sumo Vibe, good to see you. Okay, so Vanilla Coke Pepsi, it's 30 where you're at. I'm going to assume you're speaking in Fahrenheit terms. Thank you very kindly, by the way. Us Americans kind of need that. Yep, we need that real bad. So, no, he doesn't mean 30C. You better not mean 30C, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Yeah, you're right, Maya. People don't know that Hawaii has snow. I get very, I've surprised many people when letting them know. And actually, my uncle grew up on Maui, and even, you know, Maui doesn't get snow as often as the Big Island does, but even Maui's been known to get snow now and again. So it's not even, you know, it's not even just the Big Island. And okay, right, yeah, DJ Smoke, Houston should be about 40 degrees right now, not 80 degrees. You have got it. That is exactly it. Yeah, Kenny flying in with some fact checking. December? No, 80 is not normal for any part of Texas in December. Yeah, not even. So, let's see here. Oh, that's funny. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you have totally gotten everyone their panties all in a bunch. 30C or 30F? 30C or 30F? I know you have to mean 30F. So, and yeah, Pinnell, exactly. I thought, so Pinnell's saying that it has to be negative 30 or something for the hot water thing. Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think that'll work yet. I think we're really far away from that. I mean, if you ask a native Pacific Northwesterner whether or not it feels cold enough to do that, I'm sure many of us would say, oh yeah. But yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Balmy 68 in Central Texas. That's nice. I like that one. Alpha, it says to me, it seems to get colder here in Seattle every year, and it snows more often now than when I first arrived in '93. Alpha, you're totally right. It has been snowing a lot more recently, but having lived here for 20 years longer than you, I've kind of noticed that Seattle goes through like really weird warm spells and then cold spells and then warm spells and then cold spells. But we're definitely on like the colder swinging of the pendulum, and it does seem to be swinging colder. On the other hand, it also seems to be swinging hotter. I read, I think it was just today, I read a headline that 2021 for Seattle area created a new record for the state, which was a 91 degree temperature difference between the hottest day of the year and the coldest day of the year. Because we got like into the upper hundreds, not the upper hundreds, pardon me. No, we didn't get close to 200 or anything. We got over 100 by quite a bit earlier this summer, which is really unusual for the Seattle weather. And then we got really cold, just like right now. So yeah, 91 degree swing, not in one day, but in 1 year. And that's never happened before in Washington. So there you have it. Yeah, exactly, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. If you meant 30C, you would be dying of heat stroke. Precisely. Yeah. So, okay, Andre's coming in on Tuesday. It was 67 in Alaska, breaking records for this time of year. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Maya, yeah, precisely. Maui and the Big Island both have potential for snow. Terry in Scotland. My Texas accent is lousy, by the way. I could coach you on that. Well, it's funny you should say that, Terry, because I don't necessarily know if I was going for any kind of Texas accent. But speaking of a Texas accent, how about this, y'all? We are going to watch this video. My friend Jesse Dayton from Beaumont, Texas, recently just released his memoirs, Jesse Dayton, the Beau Monster. And if you want to hear a Texas accent, well, how about we watch this video right here?
Raindrops searching for a place to fall. I know you won't believe these things I tell. No, you won't believe. Your heart is and will lie to you. Some here. Okay, let's see if we can leave another. Another one of those. Okay.
Like so, you want to leave another one of those little C parts longer in there
let's
somewhere?
just see where it falls here.
Okay.
Kind of follow me here. So I stay this far from true. Stars are raindrops searching for a place to fall. And
Chris looks at me, he puts his arm around me, he goes, even when you put your damn capo on the wrong fret, he said, don't let those bastards get you down. It was good.
Did you do that? Hey.
No, he did.
Hey, what are you doing?
Alrighty then, so that young buck with the Beaumont hillbilly accent. Well, now that was my friend Jesse Dayton, and his Texas accent is about as true and real as you can get. And yeah, so that was, in case all y'all don't know, that was the iconic Johnny Cash. And oh shoot, I didn't pause the Lono. Dang it, y'all, I messed that up. All right, so you know what? That's right. You know what? We're gonna do this again because here's the deal.
Searching for a
That's
place
Johnny
to
Cash
fall.
and Waylon Flippin' Jennings, you guys. That's a big deal. So that's right, we're gonna watch it again. This time you can maybe hear the accents.
I know you won't believe these things I tell you. No, you won't believe. Your heart has been poor and will lie to you. I'm here. Okay, let's see if we can't leave another. Hey, another one of those. A little longer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Like
so-
you want to leave another one of those little C parts longer in there
Let's just see
somewhere?
where it falls here.
Okay.
Kind of follow me here. So I stay this far from true.
Yeah, there you go.
Sun filled with ice and gets no warmth at all. Sky is never blue. Stars are raindrops searching for a place to fall. And
Chris looks at me, he puts his arm around me, he goes, even when you put your damn capo on the wrong fret, he said, don't let those bastards get you down. It was good.
Did you do that? Hey.
No, he did.
Hey, what are you doing?
How you doing?
Alrighty then, that was what that was without the Lono in the background. Now we're gonna turn the Lono back on in the background. Uh-oh, and we're gonna have a problem for a second. Alright, now we're not gonna have a problem. Okay, yeah. No, small kind embarrassed, Kenny. You didn't even recognize that was Waylon Jennings. Yep, that was Waylon, and that was Johnny Cash as well. So yeah, Jesse Dayton, one of my favorite musicians, and used to procure some situations for him when he would hit town. And OG Sumo Vibe, you know what? I don't know who was on the production board. I could actually find out who that was in that video real darn quick. Well, not real darn quick. Not before the video's over. But I will shoot Jesse or his bass player Chuck an email about that, because even though even though I haven't seen those folks in a quadrillion years, oddly enough, thanks to Facebook, you still get to keep in touch with folks. And Jesse's bass player, his wife actually just posted on my Facebook page today. We were trading stories about burst pipes, and their home in Texas this last February, when Texas had that big freeze. Their master bedroom got completely burst out and blown up because of the frozen pipes. And so when I was being super paranoid about my pipes, somebody was all, God, you're acting like it's, negative 25 in the Midwest. And I was just like, I don't care if I'm acting paranoid. I would rather spend extra money on my heating bill than an emergency plumbing bill to fix a burst pipe, period, end of story, right? So that's just how that is. And okay, cool, Maya, we'll see you in a little bit. We'll see you in a little bit. And yeah, Waylon without that hat does look like a totally different dude. Yeah, totally. And Kenny, music trivia, what is Waylon, or was, I guess, Waylon's middle name? I don't know. I do not know. But I can, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was OG Sumo Vibe. I'll do some research and get back to ya. But hopefully, Terry, the horrible Texas accent that I did, what is it that OG called it? The Muslim, Hawaiian, Canadian accent that I have. Even though I had a horrible Southern Texas accent, I hope that those true country boys soothed your ears just a little bit. So OG, how many points does it need to get the word? I'm gonna be habut if you make me say habut. OG Sumo Vibe, doesn't cost you any points. Just ask. I don't really know what to do with channel points, so I suppose maybe we should get a channel point, cash in the channel points, and then. But if you're gonna cash in the channel points to hear me say habut, then you also have to post the haha, my haha. Where is it? Here we go. You have to post the haha, because if there's ever a reason to point and laugh at me and go haha, that's when and that's now. Holy crumb, Cindy Krause. Once in a while you get an Arctic blast, and the coldest there was 4, and everything froze. But really cold here is 17. Wow, dude, that's way colder than we get up here in Seattle, and you're in you're in Southern California. Wow. Let's see here. Waylon was actually named Wayland before his mother changed it to Waylon. All right. And Tecumseh apparently was Waylon's middle name. Did not know that. Kenny from the Cove, he should get double points because he made me say it twice. Well, he didn't make me say it. It was a voluntary say it. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, no doubt, dude. Cindy Krause, or OG Sumo Vibe, is telling Cindy Krause that 4 degrees will brain freeze you when you're sneezing. Let's see. The coldest you've ever been was -38 vanilla Coke Pepsi and -36.4 Fahrenheit. Yeah, because once they hit -40, the two scales match up again, oddly enough. So yeah, -38C and -36.4 F. That actually, I think that's right. Oh, Terry, you're coming in with his middle name was Arnold, not Tecumseh? All right, then. Sounds like we have a music trivia battle of the wits here. I don't have Google open, so I can't be the referee. So, yeah. Cindy, the year that you had 4 degrees, you had snow that year too. I would imagine somewhere you might have. Goodness gracious. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you could light yourself on fire and still be cold when it was that cold out. I'm not really that surprised, actually. Isn't it like at -40, I think even propane freezes and things? I mean, it gets really difficult to keep I guess what I'm trying to say is it actually would be kind of hard to set yourself on fire when it's that cold even, because the propane gas won't even flow. What a horrible, horrible thing. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Shambhala 30, or excuse me, no, Shambhala 03. Hi, how you doing? You are in the Statterbox crew now that you've said hello. This is Chatter with Statter, and we're here. Right now, we're talking about cold weather. I mean, seriously, you couldn't have come in at a more mundane topic. We're talking about cold weather and the snow that we're having in Seattle. And I just recently, we're talking about how badly I have, when I try to do a Texas accent, I do it very poorly, according to people who are from Texas. And, well, they might know what they're talking about. So there you go. When it's -40, your car won't start. So I guess even the gasoline won't flow, which means you can't set yourself on fire with the gasoline or the propane. Yeah, what a very strange conversation we're having. Well, Shambhala03, I would like to hear your Texas accent, but I'm not so sure I would even know how to get you on here. But I'm sure we could all point and laugh, but point and laugh in very loving ways, because we've got the haha emote, and when we point and laugh here, it's not because we're trying to be mean. It's done with love, and usually I like to point and laugh at myself. So if I do something really stupid, by all means, pointing and laughing is fully acceptable. In Vermont, there was a heat wave. In Vermont, 0 was a heat wave. Hard to breathe without a scarf over your nose. The island girl spent most of her time hugging the wood stove. That sounds like a nightmare, Cindy. So 0 is warm. Okay, yeah, no. 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 Did I mention no? All right, as long as we're clear on that. Let's see here. Andre says, I knew when I visited Montreal it would be too cold for me when I saw all the cars had plugs coming out the front of them to keep them warm. Yeah, Alaska has those too. I'm guessing maybe in Vermont they have them as well, what with 0 being a heat wave. But yeah, once you start seeing the plugs for the blocks on the engine blocks, you know it's time to wear your socks. Yeah. Rick, oh, I hope I don't ever have to figure this out with my Subi, but Rick says my old Toyota manual shift wouldn't shift at -26. Cool, I'll keep that in mind. How about I just don't leave the house at -26? Shambhala, I seem like that cool aunt. Yeah, I'm not an aunt, but I can tell you that if I did have little nieces and nephews and stuff, I probably would be the cool aunt. I'd also probably be the aunt that the mom would just be like, I don't really know if you should hang out with her without another adult supervision, because she'll teach you how to swear and other stuff that I don't want you to know. Plus, she might feed you cookies. But that's me. So, let's see. It looks like, so wait, I don't know, what we're talking about here in regards to maple syrup. Oh, here we go. That's what we're talking about. Andre's saying, I heard you had to release some of the strategic maple syrup reserves up in Canada. That's funny. I didn't hear that they had to do that, but I have heard that they do have strategic maple syrup reserves. Just like we have our oil. I'd rather have a reserve of maple syrup, though. Oh, Cindy Krause, the secret is long underwear. Okay, all right. I'll take your word for it. I would like to think, or I would think actually the secret is long underwears, like multiple layers of underwears. Oh no, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you don't. Oh no. Okay, so I might be the cool aunt, but even the cool aunt is going to say, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, who says, Canadians buy a fair amount of maple syrup, especially me. I drink it straight from the bottle. Don't judge. Hun, you better go brush your teeth. You got to brush the teethuses if you're going to be drinking maple syrup straight. Good Lord. Oh my, oh my. I don't know, man. I'm not judging, but boy, you better brush your teeth, my friend. Oh, OG Sumo Vibe is throwing down some knowledge that I wish I would have had a few days ago. OG Sumo Vibe says, I always used to wonder when I would go back east for sporting events why all the cars would always have the windshield wipers pointed straight up overnight. I know why they do that now. Did you know? Do you know why they do that? I know why they do that now. Yeah, it's so they don't get frozen to your windshield. Yeah, I wish I would have known that a few days ago. It's a really good idea. Yeah. Oh no, Rick, you found out after work and your car wouldn't shift at all in the work parking lot. No, that's the opposite of what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is you get in it before work and you say, oh, cannot go to work because no shifty. Not after work. Your car is just was not on the same page. You guys really need to get your stories straight, you and your car. You need to figure it out. Yeah, your car needs to figure it out, Rick. Would I be the cool, Kenny from the Cove, Statter would be the cool, fun aunt who would sneak you out of the house when you're on restriction? I don't know if I'd sneak you out of the house, but I might, create a story in which I legitimately have to take you out of the house. If you were on restriction. Then again, if it was for something stupid and I didn't like my sister, then maybe I would just sneak you out of the house. It's hard to say. Vanilla Coke Pepsi is telling me, you have to drink the maple syrup from the bottle. It is part of our culture. It's the best way to drink it. Funny thing, see, here's the deal, Vanilla. I wasn't under the impression you were supposed to drink maple syrup at all. I use it in things like baking or on pancakes, for flavoring. I don't use it as a beverage. But I guess, yeah, if you're going to drink it, might as well drink it straight out of the bottle. You do you, man. Oh, that's funny, Andre. I hadn't really thought about that. Canada is the OPEC of maple syrup, and I guess you're right. It should be because of the leaf on their flag. OG, it kind of, yes. Okay, so OG's asking, did my windshield wipers stick to it did, kind of. Luckily, so many words are trying to escape my face. Yes, they were stuck. Luckily, they were not stuck so coldly that after 10 or 15 minutes of the heater blasting and the windshield warming up, they eventually unthawed themselves from the windshield. But yes, for a few minutes, they were stuck. I tried with the ice scraper. I tried, and I didn't want to tear them because Anyway, I didn't realize that windshield wipers could freeze to the windshield. And I realized that for people who live in the circumstances where that's normal, you can point and laugh, but it just didn't occur to me. If you don't think about it, you don't think about it. Now I know to think about it. And now I understand why people sometimes put cloth over their windshield. Also, apparently it's with the frost thing. Who knew? Not me. Who knew? Not me. Let's see here. Yeah, Shakalak. Yeah, exactly. I would not sneak my niece or nephew out. I would brazen them out. That's exactly it. There's no sneaking. No, we're not going to sneak it. We're gonna walk up, tell them what we're doing, and then, and then go do it. So, hey, C Honda, good to see you. You've been lurking, but enjoying the weather stories. Yeah, not a whole lot for me to talk about these days because I have not been leaving my house. And, once you stay home for so long, you get a little stir crazy. And really the only topic that you can think of to talk about is why you're stuck at home, the weather. So here we are, right? Yeah, okay, Pinnell, exactly. Put the maple syrup in the coffee. That is that is sort of, I still consider that cooking. I mean, in a weird way, but it's an ingredient, I guess is what I'm saying, is maple syrup. Ingredient, not beverage, right? Apparently not right. Apparently, some people are all like, oh yeah, you got to drink a gallon of it, otherwise you're not Canadian. And shock, only real maple syrup, drink to kind, no fake. Yeah, well, you can't have the fake stuff because the real maple syrup is actually really liquidy, really liquidy. So, I mean, it's easier to drink, whereas the fake maple syrup is all corn syrupy and thick. and that would be a lot more difficult to get down. So oh, Rick, it wasn't you. It wasn't the car. Oh, no, so it was the car. It was the car, and you didn't get your story straight. You just didn't. Yeah, you told the car the wrong story. You plugged in your car overnight, so of course the car was like, well, I guess we're going to run. Yeah. Yep. So wait, Terry in Scotland, did you say that there's a reserve Scotland? Oh, no. Okay. For a second, I thought Terry was saying that Scotland actually had a strategic reserve of single malt whiskey. Honestly, I really wouldn't be surprised. But no, apparently it's not an official reserve. It's Terry's private reserve. Big enough for the entire country of Scotland, I'm sure. But yeah, but it's in his cellar. Got it. Let's see here. Yeah, American syrup like Aunt Jemima and all those other brands are insulting to you. Well, to me, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, the syrups that we have that we call maple syrup here, the fake, the Aunt Jemimas, Mrs. Butterworth, etc. Those syrups to me are more akin to like the Rogers Golden syrup that you have up in Canada. Which is, I don't even know what that syrup is made of, but it's thicker like that. Like even though we call it maple syrup, I say that American fake maple syrup is more like the golden syrups, the treacle syrups, than the actual maple syrups that you can get in Canada. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about in regards to golden syrups, treacle syrups, they're not very popular in the United States. I honestly can't even think of a U.S. brand of such a thing. But they're a different kind of syrup they have in Canada, and I think probably Britland too. England, Britain, Britland is what I call it sometimes. Sorry. I think they've got it there too, but I know my mom loved her Rogers Golden syrup, which I thought was kind of gross. But yeah, that's what maple syrup is more like to me. The fake maple syrup is more like to me. I'm curious if the Canadians on the list here are in agreement with my assessment, or if they are pointing and laughing at me. Yeah, Andre, you're right. America does have a few places that can make maple syrup. I think Vermont is one of them, actually. It's got to get to be super, super cold in the winter for that sap to run in the spring. So let's see here. Shockalock, you would like some of the black maple syrup? Okay, so tell me about that. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. I do know that grade A maple syrup is the lightest. Grade B is a little bit darker. And as a general rule for cooking, even though it's counterintuitive, they recommend using grade B because it has a stronger flavor. It's the darker one. Now, I can only assume that black is like even darker, but I have never heard of black maple syrup. So tell me about that. Now so now I'm left with a couple of different questions. So black maple syrup, is there a tree called black maple and it's syrup from that? Or is it a different variety of, yeah, tell me about the black syrup. I've got a lot of questions. And Rick, you watched a YouTube foodie making a stir fry and at the end added maple syrup. I don't know if that would be any good. I don't either, but I have a feeling if you guys know who Uncle Roger is, Uncle Roger has some opinions about how British people cook Asian food, specifically fried rice, but he's also expanded into other, he's got opinions about green curry as well. And he's got opinions about other just random stir fries. And I have a feeling that Uncle Roger would definitely say, hi-ya. Or would it be fuyo? No, he would say hi-ya when the maple syrup was added. I don't think that he would I don't think he'd approve. Okay, so vanilla Coke Pepsi, dark maple syrup is like drinking heaven. Caffeinated maple syrup? Yes, please. Okay, I've never heard of that. So wait a second here. Shock is talking about we make ice cream from it. I guess we're talking about the black maple syrup, but we're kind of out. Habut. Our friend from Kitchener gave us a gallon of it. Wow, a gallon. Whoa, dude, that's a hefty gift of maple syrup. Yes, vanilla Coke Pepsi. Did I know in maple syrup pancake ads they pour motor oil over the pancakes because the pancakes do not absorb the motor oil and looks better? I did know that, and I also know that when it comes to cereal commercials, the milk that they pour in the cereal commercials is usually watered down Elmer's glue because it doesn't get the bluish tint the way milk does with all the lights. It maintains that bright white milk-like color. And so as long as you're not advertising the actual milk, it's totally legal to do in the US. Now, if you're doing an ad for milk, you actually do have to show milk, which is why you generally don't see milk being poured in a milk commercial. Or consumed, because that milk mustache, that's always just, makeup, obviously. Yeah, Darlene, there's for sure different grades of maple syrup. There's grade A, like I said, which is the pale amber. And then there's grade B, which is more what we would consider the normal syrup color. But I still want to know what black maple syrup is. Let's see here. And, okay, well, we're gonna be, okay, Shock. Yeah, Lyle's would be another kind of golden syrup. And hey, Elaine, good to see you. We're talking about maple syrups and all of the different varieties of syrups. Some of them are golden syrup. Some of them are maple. Some of them are black maple syrup, and I still don't know what that is. So, Darlene, I am right there with you. Honestly, fruit syrups like a blueberry syrup over pancakes is one of my favorites. I really, or like a blackberry syrup, a blueberry syrup, and just a thin layer of peanut butter on the pancake. So tasty. So tasty. So Tate's and Lyle's golden syrup, is over there. Yeah, I think there's one in Canada called Rogers, if I remember correctly, but it might be Lyle's, but I think it's Rogers. And that was the one that my mom used to always bring back from Canada whenever she went back home. So I'm very familiar with it. And to me, that syrup is more akin to the fake syrups that we call maple syrup here. It's what I'm trying to say. And vanilla Coke Pepsi. You once saw someone walk a beaver. I kid you not. That's the most Canadian thing I ever saw. I'm not going to argue with that, my friend. That's a pretty Canadian thing. I mean, I've seen a beaver in real life, but not on a leash. I've seen a pig in real life on a leash, but that's an American thing. Yeah. Okay, so Shock, you're not, all you know is that the syrup was super dark and super intense. Okay, so I'm wondering, I'm guessing it was just dehydrated more, so it's more, there's a word for that, Molly. Yeah, I think it was concentrated more. I'm guessing it was maybe just concentrated more, so it was darker, because the more you concentrate it, the darker it gets. But yeah, who knows? Okay, so the black is just stronger. Okay, so it's not like from a black maple, it's actually just concentrated. Got it. Yeah, so Shock, exactly. Maybe people can post a link to the black maple syrup on Andy Boomatai's Discord channel. Andy Boomatai, of course, the host of the Daily Pigeon Live on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday at the 5 p.m. West Coast slot, 3 p.m. Hawaii time slot, 8 p.m. East Coast slot. So if you are new here to this chat and you're wondering why we all know each other, how we all know each other, etc., it's mostly because of the Daily Pigeon Live. And we hang out here too. But We've got a scene all over the Twitch internet universe world, and everybody should come join it. So check out Andy Bumatai. He's got Hawaiian-oriented videos, plus a lot of other chat and music, etc. Super fun time. People you see here, you're going to see there, and there you have it. So, okay, so Darlene, all right, so you believe that the darkness and flavor comes from the cooking of the sap when it's turning into syrup, right? So it just gets more concentrated the longer you cook it, the darker and more intense. That makes sense. So Andre, I'm hearing something funny. It sounds like a wild turkey is walking around outside now. Well, do you have wild turkeys in Oakland? I mean, wild turkeys are like everywhere. So is it a wild turkey? Caffeinated maple syrup refers to you mentioning it. No, Pinnell mentioned putting it in their coffee. And yeah, that's what you got to do, dude, is, put it in your coffee. Why not? Right. So let's see here. Okay. So Pinnell, how do I find Andy's food channel? That is a really great question. And if Shock or Rick can do the, Discord links, that would be awesome. But let's see here. OG Sumo Vibe. Wait, did you say peanut butter on your pancakes? Yeah, dude, have you never had peanut butter on your flipping pancakes? Now, you don't want to do too much because otherwise it'll get really sticky and stuck to your mouth, but just the thinnest layer of peanut butter on your pancake. Oh, dude, life changer. Oh, yeah, dude, because it melts a little bit, Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, you should definitely try it. Oh, that is you did hear what I said, and that is exactly what it is. So, let's see here. Andre, you've had some violent turkeys in our rose garden just a few blocks away, but they kind of took it over and then they moved them. The turkeys are scary when you see them walking down the street. Yeah. And one coming running at you. Yeah. 'Cause turkeys are not a tiny bird, right? So, I don't care if it's a turkey. I don't care if it's a chicken. I don't care if it's a goose. I don't care if it's a pigeon. If it's that big, well, actually, if it's a pigeon and it's that big, I'm definitely scared. But I don't care what it is. Birds are little dinosaurs. Okay. So we don't need them running at us. And, okay. So Terry's got the knowledge. Terry in Scotland says, Acer, probably not how you pronounce it, nigrum, the black maple, is a species of maple closely related to a saccharum, i.e. the sugar maple, and treated by some authors as a subspecies of it, as Acer saccharum subspecies nigerum. So what I'm hearing then, perhaps, Terry, is that there is such thing as a black maple tree, and perhaps, especially since it's being considered a subspecies of the sugar maple, then perhaps syrup actually is made from that specific species. Okay. All right. I'm going to go down that rabbit hole and look into that. And okay, well, OJ Sumo Vibe, you've never put peanut butter on your pancakes and you've never put maple syrup on your PB&J either. I've never put maple syrup on my PB&J either, and I can honestly say that's never occurred to me, which doesn't make sense considering what we've just been talking about. But yeah, Kenny from the Cove knows exactly what's up. A little peanut butter on pancakes or waffles is oh no, it really is. But the key though really is small. Now, I'm somebody who can and will eat spoonfuls of peanut butter right out of the jar. I live alone. I'm allowed. I don't have kids. But even though I love peanut butter a lot, too much, the key really is thin, not a whole lot, because otherwise it can be way too overwhelming. And so, yeah, you really should try it one day when you're feeling adventurous. When you've got extra room in your belly for one experimental pancake, I suggest you try a peanut butter pancake, or a pancake with peanut butter on it, I mean. And Andre, both the turkeys and the deer around Oakland know that you can't hurt them. Seriously, dude, I don't know how the animals know it, but I have heard of hunters who are out to the last day of deer season, elk season, whatever, always deer and elk, not like bear. But they're out till the last day and they are not getting nothing. Nothing. Their tags went empty that year. They didn't get anything. They wake up from their camp on the day after, the morning after the season ends. Their campground is full of deers and elk. It's like the deer and elk know, like, oh yeah, Tuesday, everything will be good. Monday still is going to suck, but the moment Tuesday starts, we're fine. Yeah, they might still be here, but they're not allowed to kill us on Tuesday. I mean, how do they know? Because seriously, they do know. I mean, okay, I don't have any kind of like scientific proof to support my thesis, but anecdotally speaking, the animals absolutely know. Andre, oh no, you wish you could hear what I was talking about. I'm talking to you, Andre. Let's see here. So, Terry, maple syrup is a syrup usually made from the xylem sap of sugar maple, red maple, or black maple trees, although it can be made from other maple species. Okay, so I didn't really know that red maple, I guess I just sort of assumed that sugar maples were red maples. But okay, so it does sound like black maple syrup might actually come from the black maple tree. Okay. Oh, Andre, they also have birch syrup, but that's not as sweet. Okay, yeah, I've never heard of that. Yes, Darlene, it sounds like you're either listening to what I say or you know what I'm talking about from your experience. It's a very thin layer of peanut butter. Thin layer of peanut butter is the big deal. Okay, so OG Sumo Vibe, you're a big fan of peanut butter too, but my rule is if you only want to spread it thin, do you really need it? Well, okay, now I'm not going to argue with that logic. I mean, I'm a fat girl. That logic is perfectly sound in my world. But from my experience, especially like waffles, maybe not so much, but with pancakes, especially, like it can get really sticky if you use too much peanut butter. So, yeah, so let's see here. Okay, cool. Pinnell, I will actually go looking up. See, this is, you guys might not learn anything, but I learned so much having this when we get together here and have these chats because I didn't know anything about black maple syrup before. And now Pinnell is offering a great resource. The Native Canadian Centre of Toronto should have a link for the syrup along with native artists, etc. And even if they don't, my best guess is it'll be a great starting point to do more research on the topic. I know that that not everybody cares so much about black maple syrup as clearly I do, but I'm gonna look into this for real. Let's see here. And yeah, exactly, OJ Sumo Vibe. Nobody's gonna tell on you, like Cindy Krause says. If you slather peanut butter on a pancake, ain't nobody gonna tell. The only thing I suggest is if you slather peanut butter on a pancake, be sure to use extra syrup. That is my advice to you. Darlene, you should see your grandson's PB&J globs of peanut butter. Yeah, my mom she was just like, would you like some toast with that peanut butter? It's like, no, we're good. Yeah, my mom could not stand how much peanut butter I use on my stuff. So, and Kenny from the Cove, exactly. Deer can't figure out crossing a country road, but they all know when the season is over. It absolutely does. They absolutely do. Anybody who's been a hunter has at least one story of, seriously, I woke up and the deer was licking my toes, and it's just like, yep, and you couldn't shoot him either, could ya? Nope. Yep. So, Andre, you remember eating peanut butter stew in the African Culture Center in London. It was good. I've heard of, I haven't heard it called peanut butter stew, but I've heard of peanut stew that does have peanut butter in it. So I'm guessing, and it was an African dish. So I'm guessing similar. Yeah, peanut butter is, it's funny Because, you know, we think of it as like just an accompaniment for jelly on sandwiches, but peanut butter is actually really more savory to me than it is sweet. And so it works really well in like food, you know, not dessert food, not sweet food, not treats and candies. I mean, it works well in that too. But, you know, it actually works well in food. I make a really good pan-fried green beans and almonds with well, no, not the almonds. Green beans, charred green beans in the pan with teriyaki peanut kind of sauce. Super tasty. So let's see here. OG Sumo Bob, you're still trying to find the infatuation with fried chicken and waffles. Some people love it. You know, OG, I actually kind of agree with you. On a different, it sounds like you and me might be having different problems with the concept, but we're still in agreement. It's like, the chicken and waffles that I don't understand are, first off, Belgian waffles, the thick ones. Like, that's a no-go. If you're going to do chicken and waffles, it has to be the American style thin waffle, like, you know, Eggo thin waffle, right? So many places that I've seen that say they serve chicken and waffles, it's just like already, oh, well, you've screwed up. That's a Belgian style waffle, not an American style waffle. I can't even, the crunchy breadiness of the Belgian style is not what's going to go with a mouthful of chicken. It's just not. And then sometimes they use like those stupid breaded chicken breast strips, which are as dry as a bone. So you've got these dry breaded white meat sponges that are awful on chunky, crispy waffle bread. It's just disgusting. Now, if it's a good, like, you know, piece of fried chicken on a thin waffle, I'm open to the idea, but I don't know, man. Some of the versions of chicken and waffles I've seen, it's just like, that just looks like you did it all wrong. All wrong. Let's see here. Yes, and Darlene, that's it. Need and like or want is the whole issue of how much peanut butter. Exactly. And that's true for anything. Peanut butter sandwiches, peanut butter pancakes, anything. And yeah, they've got a chicken and waffle sandwich. I didn't know that they had one at Pete's, but I've seen chicken and waffle sandwiches. And I really don't get it. I mean, I get the savory and the sweet, but like I said, the way I've seen it executed so many times, it's just like, there's so many things wrong with what is on that plate. I don't understand how anybody could consider it appetizing. Yeah. OG Sumo Vibe, you don't know me by now, do ya? I don't give a about what other people think about what I eat. I still eat with my hands when I go out to eat, like one crazy native. There you go. Oh, Pinnell, really? I had no idea. According to Pinnell, peanut butter has a lot of iron and was told at a blood donor clinic. Well, then I won't feel so bad about eating peanut butter because I'm anemic as all anything. And so got to get my iron. Maybe I should have peanut butter and spinach. Let's not do that. That sounds gross. Yeah. So Andre's coming in. Although I had some really good chicken and waffles and Louis the Pie Queen in Oakland. Hold on, wait. So Andre had some good chicken and waffles. And Louis the Pie Queen, I'm going to assume you meant at. And I don't know what Louis the Pie Queen is, but I would be willing to bet I want to try one of those pies. And in Oakland, and it was the first place you tried it, and it was good. Right, well, that's what I was saying. Like, I think the chicken and waffles has potential if it's done properly. You can't have the dry chicken. I mean, dry chicken's just gross anyway. And then you're going to pair it with a thick, dry Belgian waffle. I mean, I guess I don't like Belgian waffles. I mean, that's really, it's just what I don't like Belgian waffles. They're not waffles. They're Belgian waffles, but they're not waffles. So, they call peanuts in Africa ground nuts. Oh, well then I guess that would make sense with why peanut stew would have peanut butter in it. Gotcha. Okay, and so Terry coming in with more maple syrup knowledge. That is right. You know, we can't not talk about food here at Chatter with Statter, right? Maple syrup for the win. Terry comes in saying the Canadian province of Quebec is the largest producer of maple syrup, responsible for 70% of the world's output. Wow. 70% of the world's output. Canadian exports of maple syrup in 2016 were Canadian 486 million. That is about US 360 million, with Quebec accounting for some 90% of this total. Holy flirking snit. That's a lot of syrup. I mean, like, what other... I guess... this is going to sound horribly judgmental, but it's like, what the heck else do they do in Quebec besides make maple syrup then? I mean, gosh, that sounds like that's their major export. And, oh yeah, peanuts are more closely related. I thought that peanuts were technically legumes. Yeah, because they're certainly not true nuts. That's why, I think that's why in America, at least, they make the differentiation between like, oh, I'm allergic to tree nuts, as because some people aren't, some people can eat a peanut, but they can't eat an almond, type of thing. And so, because, two different things. So I guess the true nut is like a tree nut. So let's see here. Yeah, waffles, right? Waffles, chicken, syrup poured over the top. I can handle that really, as long as the chicken is moist and as long as the waffle is a waffle, not a Belgian waffle. I think I could probably handle that. And the only reason why I think I could probably handle it is because, when you get like other Asian style fried chickens, you fry the chicken, but then you've got a sweeter glaze oftentimes right on top of it. I mean, General Tso's chicken is definitely not, that's kind of sweet. Orange chicken, kind of sweet. Honey walnut chicken, kind of sweet, so there's already that sweet savoriness going on that like, okay, I can do that ish, maybe. But it's got to be done right. Yeah. So, yeah, Kenny from the Cove, you bring up a very good point. If peanut butter wasn't meant to be eaten by the spoonful straight from the jar, then why is the mouth of the jar so big? Exactly. I mean, Pinnell, and now suddenly I want to grab my peanut butter jar. Yeah, I definitely have to. There have been days where I've eaten so much out of my peanut butter jar that I've had to like put it away and just be like, you can't have that for another few days because you just OD'd on peanut butter. Yeah. Andre, you bring up a good point. So do people with peanut allergies also have pea allergies? I don't think always, because I think allergies are weird for everybody. But that's a good question. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they are both legumes, right? So I don't know. No. Okay, so Kenny from the Cove, I'll tell you this right now. When you mention Nashville hot chicken on a thin waffle with I don't even care with what the I'm sure it was going to be syrup, but it doesn't matter. Nashville hot chicken, you can have mine. Nope, not going to have it. Nope. Too hot for my tongue. Too hot for my belly. Nope. Nashville, there's nothing about Nashville hot chicken that even remotely is, no, just no. Oh yeah, Darlene, homemade peanut butter cookies. So yeah, and they've got to be homemade because otherwise, peanut butter cookies kind of like go stale faster. So, you kind of really want to get them fresh, and so they need to be homemade. But my favorite peanut butter cookie are those ones, the ones. You all know the ones. They're the round peanut butter cookies with the chocolate Hershey's Kiss in the middle. Oh, God darn it. Those are good cookies. Those are such good cookies. And shock, your ex used to put peanut butter in vanilla ice cream and it smelled nauseating. That probably wouldn't smell that good, but I don't know. I think it sounds like it might taste good. I really like one of my favorite ice creams growing up when I was a kid was the chocolate peanut butter with the peanut butter swirl. I've never had vanilla with peanut butter. I don't have any ice cream in the house, but now I want to try it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so Kenny, you did say exactly what I thought you were going to say, and yeah, you can have it all. Hot Nashville with the slight drizzle of syrup, so good. You can do that. You can do that. Um, we won't have to fight over that. You can have the whole plate. Mm-hmm. So, so let's see here. You know, OG Super Vibe, you think you're good? Give me an Eggo waffle and you're good. Honestly, I really like Eggo waffles. I mean, they're so simple and they're they're not gross and thick the way the Belgian waffles are. Um Yeah, Korean waffles look like tacos with whipped cream and milk. I've never had that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And Korean street food manages to take all of the junk food that America has and make it like even better and junkier. Um, I haven't tried a Korean corn dog yet, but apparently like there's cheese involved and then some kind of crunchy coating and it's not your county fair's corn dog that the Koreans have done. So so yeah, I don't know about the Korean waffle taco thing, but yeah, that sounds consistent. Um okay, cool, Darlene, you're coming in with facts. A tree nut is a true nut. Perfect. Got it. I wasn't just making stuff up. And boy, I am so far behind. So so let's see here. So, yeah, Kenny going on about the Nashville hot chicken again. I'll knock the hair. Yeah, I don't, nope, nope, nope. Yeah, Penel, you know, the maple walnut ice cream, I don't know if that's like every my grandma, who was also Canadian, loved that ice cream too. Is it like every Canadian grandma's favorite ice cream? Or was it like the only ice cream flavor that Canadian kids had back in the 1820s when our grandmas were alive? I'm joking. I know they weren't that old. But I just have to wonder, like, what is it with Canadian grandmas? Why do they like maple walnut ice cream so much? Um, so let's see here. The European Union, let's try these again. Terry in Scotland says the European Union requires black-eyed peas be labeled black-eyed beans. Oh, well, I mean, I guess technically they are, and so, but wait. I thought peas were legumes. I thought beans were legumes. So if black-eyed peas are really black-eyed beans, then they're both legumes. So why can't you just call them black-eyed peas? Okay. Okay. I'm sure there's a reason. So Andre's saying Nashville hot chicken is big in California, but Korean hot chicken is coming up too. Oh yeah, the Korean style chicken is like taking over all over. Like even I saw this food blogger in Connecticut who tried this Korean chicken place, and it was kind of funny because he's a black dude, right? You know, and he was just like, I know all the good places to get, you know, it's like a black man knows where to get his fried chicken. Black people make good fried chicken. That's just how that works. And he's like, we're going to go see if the Koreans can show us how it's done. And he took a bite and he's like, oh, uh-oh. He's like, I don't really want to say this, but this Korean fried chicken joint might be better than all the black fried chicken joints that I know of in my neighborhood. So apparently apparently the Korean style is super tasty. I have not tried it yet. I've wanted to try Korean style fried chicken for a while, but with what's going on in the world for the last like 2 years, I was already antisocial, and now I have a health reason to be paranoid and not want to leave the house. I'm really turning into a hermit. It's awful. So Rick, maybe we could just invent a new ice cream treat. Chocolate ice cream with melted peanut butter topping. Peanut butter doesn't really melt that well, though. I've tried, but that doesn't mean it's not possible, and I'm willing to fund your project, Rick. No, that's not really true. I don't have the funding for it, but if somebody has the funding for Rick's project, I think that that would be good. Um, so, let's see here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So OG Sumo vibe. Eggo waffles are the jam. Burn them just a little bit on the edges for a little for a little crispiness. For sure, you have to like at least in my toaster, you have to do the Eggos twice, like in order to get it right. Yeah, just a little bit on the edge. Yeah. Oh, Kenny. Wait, what? Korean corn dog? Got to try one. Seriously, when we're done here, because I don't have links to support my topic. But seriously, go Google Korean corn dog, and you'll see all because it. There's a bunch of different ways it gets prepared. But one thing I can tell you is there's cheese involved somehow, and then the coating seems to have chunky, crispier things that's different than the cornbread coating we're used to. That being said, the cornbread coating that we're used to is still part of the Korean corn dog, but it's a whole other animal than what we're used to. Yeah. Oh, shock, you're going to have to look up Nashville chicken because you have no idea. Okay, well, Kentucky Fried Chicken actually had a Nashville chicken for a while. I'm not suggesting that it was good, but if you ever see like a fried chicken that's like really, it's got a sauce on it that's like really red and it comes with pickles, that's probably a Nashville hot chicken. Nashville hot chicken, it comes with it's coated in a very spicy sauce that generally hews to the red, orangish red side of the scale. And it's always served with pickles. And yeah, definitely look it up. Cause if you can handle the spice, it's probably good. I just cannot eat things that are that hot. And yeah, Andre, Koreans use hot dogs and Spam in something they call army stew. I believe they also use ramen noodles in there and slices of American cheese. And Emmy Made in Japan is a YouTuber who recreated an army stew recipe based off of one of the original wartime recipes. Because basically, I think it was just a case of I can't remember what they call it in jail, but like basically it's just sort of like it's an all in, it's a stew made from a little bit of whatever you've got on hand. And, that might be hot dogs. It might be Vienna sausages. It's probably going to be Spam, American cheese, top ramen noodles, whatever else kind of spiciness. Personally, I don't think I would like the Korean stew. There's a couple ingredients in the Korean army stew that it's just like not for me. And part of that is the American cheese. I just don't, people are putting American cheese slices in their ramen these days to like fancy it up. And to me, it's just like, this just tastes like ghetto mac and cheese. It's not fancier. It kind of ruined the ramen. Just no, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. So Andre's coming down with the knowledge about what Korean corn dogs are, which is they're hot dogs, rice cakes, fish cakes, or mozzarella cheese. I've actually seen the hot dogs with the cheese as well. But yeah, coated in a batter, sometimes panko, French fry pieces, or ramen and deep fried. They're finished with sugar and a signature squirt of a condiment of your choice. Ketchup, mayo, mustard, or all three. Yeah, so like I'm saying, it's like the batter has stuff in it. So it might have, I guess, ramen noodles in it. It might have French fry pieces in it. But yeah, it's got like stuff in it. OG Sumo vibe. Okay, I don't know who's to blame, but someone brought up cookies. It might have been Darlene that brought up the cookies. But now you open the bag of Pepperidge Farms Milanos. God, those Milanos really are good. Let's see here. Okay, so Kenny from the Cove coming in with a vote for Korean fried chicken. And Terry in Scotland. Oh, I actually know about this, Terry. Okay, so Terry in Scotland says there was a big fight in the UK when the European Union decreed that Jaffa Cakes cannot be called cakes. That is correct. And there was actually a lawsuit. And from what I understand, the baker of Jaffa Cakes won that lawsuit with a very specific ingredient list, recipe, and cooking method. Cookies contain this, that, and the other thing and are baked a certain way. Jaffa Cakes are, if you've ever had a Jaffa Cake are, even though they're the size of a cookie and you treat them like a cookie, they're little tiny circles of cake, thin circle of cake with like an orange orange jam, orange jello, orange something coated in chocolate. Jaffa is a type of orange, a seedless orange. So Jaffa cake, it's an orange chocolate cake. They come in different flavors now, but the original is the orange with the cake and then the chocolate coating. And from what I understand, the baker who makes Jaffa cakes took the European Union to court to argue that they can be called cakes because they're prepared like cakes. They are not prepared like cookies. They have a recipe similar to a cake, not a recipe like a cookie, because cookie batter versus cake batter, two very different batters. And from what I understand, they actually did win. And so now Jaffa Cakes can be called Jaffa Cakes again. Hey, Vomiting Goose, good to see you. We are talking about Nashville hot chicken, maple syrup, Jaffa Cakes, Korean corn dogs, Korean fried chicken, and I don't know, other stuff. We're talking about a lot of food right now. Let's see here. So Kenny from the Cove, big Korean population in your area, and they have contributed beautifully to the local food scene. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's the one great thing, that I take for granted growing up in Hawaii and in the Pacific Northwest. Such prominent and influential Asian culture, areas, I really feel bad for people who grow up in areas that don't have these community members to add to the vibrancy of the community, because you're missing out on some amazing food, amazing religions, amazing folk tales, amazing everythings. I really do. I take for granted the Asian community that I've grown up with, and I feel so fortunate. I'm very glad that Texas at least has a little bit of an enclave of Korean folk up where you're at, although Texas has enclaves of different Asian populations in all sorts of places. From what I understand, there's a section of town in Houston that has a lot of their street signs in Vietnamese. So, so there you go. And so Andre's asking, isn't Jaffa a city in Israel, Terry? I don't know if it is, but I wouldn't be surprised. Shock, you can't eat any fried chicken unless it's all cornmeal, no wheat. I don't know if, okay, well, then Nashville fried chicken is probably not going to be for you. I don't know what they use with Korean fried chicken. They use a slightly different batter mix than fried chicken in the United States. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some rice flour in there. On the other hand, I also wouldn't be surprised if there's wheat flour in the mix. So I really don't know if Korean fried chicken is something that they could, that could work for you. But Andre does point out they fry some chicken in rice flour. And if anybody's going to be having a rice flour based batter, it would probably be a Korean style, or a Filipino style fried chicken. So, you might want to look into it. I can truly say I don't know. Yeah, and Darlene, there we go. Darlene is really summing up. We were talking about peanut butter, ice cream, comparing recipes. Yeah, we're talking all sorts of food. Okay, so Terry, all right, so that's where the Jaffa oranges get their name, is from the city in Israel that they're probably from. Right, okay. I also heard, now, Terry, you can actually tell me if this is true or not. I've heard that in England or in the UK, in parts of England, I don't know if it's all over the UK, but apparently, because Jaffa oranges are seedless oranges, no seeds, if you call a man a Jaffa, it's sort of referring to his impotence and how he can't yet, how he's not a man. And so using the term Jaffa is actually an insult to people, to men in England. So I honestly, Vomit and Goose, I have never had cornbread crusted fried chicken. Chocolat would be able to eat it because it doesn't have the gluten. I have never had cornbread crusted fried chicken. To me, it sort of sounds weird. Hey, Fuzzy G, how you doing? We're talking about foods. It sounds weird to me, cornbread crusted fried chicken. But on the other hand, I've had cornbread crusted fried fish. So why would it be any different for chicken? I don't know. It's all mental blocks. Let's see here. Andre, in response to Shock's like, American cheese is not cheese. Andre, isn't Monterey Jack an American cheese? Oh, you sneaky bugger. You sneaky bugger. Let's see here. Yes, we do call tomatoes a vegetable, so but like a smart person knows that a tomato is a fruit. A wise person knows you don't put it in a fruit salad. That's how we go. Yeah. Kenny from the Cove, you're so hungry now you could eat a truck tire. When we're finished here, gonna go deplete the food supply, your food supply. Yep, there you go. Yes, and Andre, you are correct. Velveeta is an American cheese like substance. That is true. That is true. It's an American cheese like substance. I will say though, I mean, I do have Velveeta in my emergency food pantry. I've got all sorts of stuff in my emergency food pantry that I wouldn't normally eat on an everyday basis, but I mean, shelf stable is shelf stable. So there you go. OG Sumo Vibe. Since they're like a small cake, they should have called them cakeys. Hawaiian humor. Sorry. No, I think that would have been a really good idea. And in fact, actually, I think maybe we need to steal the idea of Jaffa Cakes, bring them to Hawaii, and we're going to rename them cakeys. Hey, Bear Mail, good to see you. Yes, you made it. The stream is going live. Cindy Krause, Velveeta baked in leftover spaghetti is about the only way that stuff is good. I've never had that before, but I don't mind Velveeta. If I'm going to make a cheese dip, my mom made what I call white trash cheese dip, and fight me, it's tasty. I don't care. It's simply, everybody knows this recipe. You know it, and you know you like it. You know it. You know you like it. Yeah, you melt up some Velveeta, throw in a little bit of milk to liquefy it a little bit more. You've got your garlic powder, you've got your onion powder, you've got your paste picante salsa. Mix it all in. White trash cheese tip, instant queso. Put that on a tortilla tip and you're good, dude. I mean, seriously, you like it. Don't even pretend. Don't even pretend. Don't even pretend. Terry in Scotland, do you not have Cheez Whiz? Oh, I guess. Right. Okay. So can you not get Cheez Whiz in the UK? Because I mean, we still can get it here. We might need to send you a package of Cheez Whiz or a couple packages of Cheez Whiz if you can't get that in the UK. So Andre, do you even need to refrigerate Velveeta? I mean, after you unwrap it, they say you're supposed to, but I don't think you need to. No. I mean, do you need to refrigerate cheese? Not really. If you store it correctly, wrapped up nicely and in a cool place, it doesn't have to be refrigerated. You should, but you cut off the pieces that get moldy. Let's see here. Cindy Krause, your mom made grilled cheese with Velveeta. Loved it then, but now gack. Yeah. Well, Velveeta cheese it does melt really well, but it is thick and cloying. So I can appreciate why, maybe on a grilled cheese. I've never had it on a grilled cheese. I don't know if I would like that. So let's see here. Yeah, I know, Darlene, referring to the Jaffa. Yeah, it is really quite an insult. And one of my friends who's studying over in England right now clued me in on that. I can't remember what we were, how we got on the topic, but yeah, that's Kenny. That's exactly right. If he's Jaffa, then his garnish doesn't work. Garnish being a reference to the movie The Ref that we watched a couple days ago, and yeah. So okay, so Terry and Scotland, you're unfamiliar with the Jaffa insult, but you don't get out much. Okay, well, I'll tell you right now, Terry, I don't want you to go out calling people that name. I don't want you to do an experiment to see whether or not I'm right. We're going to assume that what my friend told me is true and correct, and we are not going to send you out on the street to use the Jaffa insult, because I don't want anybody to be throwing punches for no reason. So yeah, there we go. So oh, okay. So eMusic, Wisconsin official cheese knowledge coming in. Colby cheese was created in Colby, Wisconsin. It's the official state cheese. I guess that's right? Yeah, so that's an American cheese. So OG Sumer Vibe, your sister makes something she calls heart attack bread with Velveeta. So bad for you, but so good. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because it really probably gets into all the crevices and melts really nice. Yep. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, Rick, white trash cheese dip. It's super good, and you know it is. And even if you haven't, you know. Okay, so no Cheez Whiz, Terry. All right, next time I go to the grocery store, which might be a little while from now, or next time I put in an order, I'm gonna see if I can grab you some Cheez Whiz, because that's not. If you know, chances are you're going to get the Cheez Whiz and you'll just be like, wow, this is super gross. It's not at all like what I remembered, but at least you'll have it. Yeah, exactly. Kenny, you know what I'm talking about. Bachelor style queso in Texas, melted Velveeta with Rotel. Right. So people who aren't familiar with what Rotel is, it's basically a canned version of paste picante salsa. It's tomatoes and green peppers and onions in a can. And yeah, my mom used to fancy it up just a little bit though. She'd add a little milk to thin it out, and then she'd add those secret ingredients, the onion powder and the garlic powder. Yeah. Is cheese in a can an American invention? I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I call it squeezy cheese, and I like to take it camping. I don't eat it in real life, but when I'm camping, I'm all about the squeezy cheese. And Andre, oh, thank you for the 200 biddies so much. That is so generous of you. Yep, I'll put it towards my Velveeta fund. How about no? I'll put it towards my Cheez Whiz fund for Terry. So, Cindy Krause, you must have been sheltered here because I never heard of Jaffa except for being a town in Israel. Well, okay, Cindy, see what you just said, I completely interpret differently. I must be sheltered here because I've never heard of Jaffa except for being a town in Israel. What I actually read is, so I'm kind of smarter than most people and I know about this town in Israel, but it turns out I don't know a lot about UK cookies. Which really, as an American, why would you know a lot about UK cookies? It just so happens that my boss read a murder mystery that took place in England, and Jaffa Cakes were like a part of the plot. So she ordered a bunch of Jaffa Cakes just to see what they were. And so we had like boxes of them in our office for a couple months. And so the only reason why I know what a Jaffa Cakes are, is because randomly my boss read a book, a murder mystery that took place in England that had Jaffa Cakes as a main plot point. I mean, you can't, not knowing about Jaffa Cakes is really not a sign of sheltering. I mean, 'cause they're not here. You can't get them here. So why would you have heard of them? Oh, Chocolat. Oh, yes, I can ship Cheez Whiz with it being in a pressurized can because Cheez Whiz is not in a pressurized can. That's easy cheese. Easy cheese is squeezy cheese. Easy cheese is the stuff in a can. Cheez Whiz is actually in a jar. Cheez Whiz was developed by Kraft in the early 1900s as a way to make it easier for homemakers to make a toast dish called Welsh Rarebit. I don't know why I know this. I just do. But Cheez Whiz, it's in a jar, so I totally could send that. So OG Sumo Vibe. Cheddar Cheez Whiz has been out of stock for months here in the Bay Area. All they have is American, at least every time you order. Okay, good heads up. Good heads up. I'll have to see what we've got in the for the offerings up here in the Puget Sound. Yeah. Oh, Darlene, get real. On Italian flavor, I like a good parm, chunk cheese. And if cheese freshly grated on so many things, so good. Parmesan cheese freshly grated on anything makes it better. I mean, honestly, I think you could probably put Parmesan cheese on a Jaffa cake and it would still taste better. So Love Pat. Yeah, no, I you're right. I cannot ship you're right, Love Pat. She's coming in. No, you can't. The pressure in the can, it'll explode. That's true. But it's Cheez Whiz isn't the stuff that's in the can. Cheez Whiz is the stuff that's in the jar. Now, if Terry's talking about the stuff that's in the can, well, then I can't send that to him. But if he's talking about the stuff that's in the jar, that I totally can send to him. Well, if it's available, which OG Sumo Vibe says it might not be available. So, yeah, Kenny from the Cove, you're right. People don't eat Velveeta because it's good for them. They eat it because it's good to them. For sure. Mr. Peacock, what is a Terry? Well, Terry from Scotland is a user, or a user here. No, he's not. No, he's a user of Cheez Whiz, and he's a part of the Statterbox crew and another Twitch streamer who earlier rated this stream. And so that is what a Terry is. It's a Terry in Scotland. He's a Terry in Scotland. Yeah, Cheez Whiz is something you should find in a survival kit. So quick to get calories in you. Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, there you have it. Well, right, Love Pat, you're better off buying it at the store where you have it. But that's the thing. Terry in Scotland doesn't have it in the UK. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get to him. But you guys are bringing up a very good point. Cheez Whiz that I'm referring to as Cheez Whiz actually comes in a jar, but all y'all are referring to Cheez Whiz, which is actually easy cheese that comes in the can. So I need to figure out from Terry, are you talking about easy cheese that comes in a can, or are you talking about Cheez Whiz that comes in a jar? But yeah, Mr. Peacock, we are talking about random food chatter tonight. That's how we do it here. So, let's see here. Cindy Krause, I win trivia today. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I don't necessarily want to go up against Andre and Shock, but I would like to be on their team when it comes to a trivia game. Yeah, and then let's see here. Andre coming in with Cheez Whiz facts. It's a brand of processed cheese sauce or spread produced by Kraft Foods. It was developed by a team led by food scientist Edwin Treisman. While many sources gave its debut in 1953, it was advertised by Kraft and retailers in several states as late as 1952. Okay, I did not realize that it was that late. I thought Cheez Whiz was developed way earlier than that. But basically, yeah, it's something that food scientists have given us. For sure. Okay, and so Terry in Scotland, excellent. So Terry in Scotland and I are on the same page. He was talking about the stuff in the jar. The jar is absolutely I can send stuff to Terry in Scotland if it's in a jar. What I can't do is buy it if it's not on the shelves. So I'm not going to promise that I'm going to do it, Terry. But if I come at you asking for a mailing address, you know why. You'll know why. Andre, if we made Brie Cheez Whiz, you think France would attack us? I don't think we're in a good place with France right now, so that might be the final straw, right? It's like, that's some fighting cheese right there. Yeah. Right, Shock. So you just demonstrated that you know nothing about canned cheese, which is why you would need me on the team, because I can cover the canned cheese categories, okay? I can slide in and talk about the processed cheese foods. Yeah, there we have it. Rick, I'm right there with you. Just give me some sharp cheddar and some sausage and some beer, and we're good to go. We are good to go. And Andre, you are correct. Washington State University is famous for its canned cheese. And that particular canned cheese you probably could ship because it's not a pressurized can. It's truly like, a can that you need to open with a can opener. And inside it's a 2-pound chunk of cheddar cheese. It's not pressurized at all. But it is canned cheese. It is canned cheese. That is true. That is true. Yep. Oh, gee, sumo vibe. You ever think you have one more cookie in the bag, savor the moment, feel like the time has come, and then when you look in the bag, it's already empty? That just happened. Habut. Habutero. Habut. Oh no, OG Sumo vibe. That is a bummer. That is such a bummer. All right, Love Pat, good to see you. You got to go. And actually, you know what? We have gone 20 minutes past the time, which is phenomenal because I was not feeling good earlier. And now chatting with everybody definitely makes the day a little bit easier to deal with. So we're going to wrap this up. Love Pat's got to head on out of here, and we can too. So, Andre, yes, a can of Wazoo canned cheese will cost you about $87 for a 30-ounce can. That is 100% correct. It is very, very expensive. So, so yeah, it's much better it's heavy. It's 2 pounds of cheese in a metal can. So shipping costs are going to be expensive. So it's way better when people go to the school. It's like, hey, pick me up a can rather than having to pay for the shipping back. That's how we do it here. So yeah, pro tip. If you ever know somebody going to not Ellensburg, to Washington State University, whatever town that's in, I cannot remember, have them grab some cheese for ya. Yeah. All right. So super stoked we got to hang out tonight. Tonight, from what I understand, from what Darlene told me, and from what Shock also told me, tonight was Wednesday. And and so we will see each other again on Saturday, hopefully. Saturday, 6 p.m. Twitch, West Coast time. All right, let's say those over again. Saturday, 6 p.m. West Coast time on Twitch, 4 p.m. in the Hawaiian Islands, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We're going to watch Dazed and Confused. That is going to be Statterbox at the cinema movie for this weekend. I would show it to you, but I don't have it within arm's reach. Pullman, Washington, Pocola Tea, thank you very much. It was right there. Pullman, Washington is where you get the Wazoo cheese. Saturday on Twitch, 6 p.m. West Coast time is where we're going to watch Dazed and Confused. And if you can't watch Dazed and Confused, then we're going to hang out again on Sunday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaiian time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Chatter with Statter, I am so glad we could hang out this evening. Have yourselves a great night. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll catch you later.